So guys, next step in the journey today, we are here in Blackrock. So basically what I try to do every week, we have a senior management catch up. So that's between myself, obviously the owner of the business. We have Armis, who's our executive head chef. We have Emily, who's our head of operations. And then we have Stephen, who runs all the office-based side of stuff for me. So it's very important that at least the four of us get together once a week. We go through all the figures from last week. We go through what meals we sold. We go through how the cafe is operated. And then we make a quick plan for next week and any bigger picture visions and strategies that we need to talk through. So yes, we've just finished our senior management meeting. What we tried to do, obviously it's so important to you stay on top of every aspect of the business, between the service side of stuff, the team elements, the atmosphere, the attention to detail, how the building looks, across all elements of the cafe. But I suppose more importantly, my role has really evolved as a business owner into ensuring that the business is healthy financially. And I suppose what we try to do every Monday morning, myself, Stephen, Emily and Armis will sit down and we'll discuss the strategy of the business going forward. We'll go through the P&Ls from last week just to make sure that we're on track, because running a hospitality business, especially these days, and a full service cafe where you have a kitchen, you have coffees going on, and you need a lot of staff in particular, it is getting very challenging, and it's getting a lot harder as kind of the years have gone on since we first opened Rocksalt back in 2018. So it's really important that myself and the team have our finger on the pulse in terms of what's going on in the industry and what's happening in the within the business. When you're operating a busy cafe, you need to be on top of it, and people want their food within 15-20 minutes. So we do need to have obviously a good bit of prep up, and if people don't order the certain dishes, you do need to manage that as well. So it's a very tricky business and loads of moving factors. We also looked at the impact of our fuel on the business as well. So we're spending about €2,200 a week on our motor and our fuel costs, which is obviously really high. We're looking after a lot of teams in the likes of Kildare. We're travelling around the place, so there is obviously a huge cost in that, but it's very important that we obviously match that into the cost of the meals and of the deliveries, because as we grow, you want to cover more ground, but it's something that we need to stay on top of. So we've got fuel cards for the guys, and we get a little bit of a discount back on the fuel that's used in. But again, it's something that we do need to watch and manage and make sure that it works well for us. So basically, I'll give you a little snapshot of I suppose behind the scenes and have a quick look at the P&Ls, for example. So this is something that I will get in my inbox every Sunday evening, and I will go through the sales from Blackrock. I'll go through the sales from Dundalk, from Felda as well, for how the meals went on, how many meals we sold, how many pots we sold, and basically get a full breakdown from Stephen every Sunday night. So when I come in on a Monday morning, I have everything straight to hand, which is absolutely brilliant. And I have a quick look over at Sunday night, and I'll be prepared and ready for our senior meeting as well. So basically, this just shows exactly how difficult and how slow, how close, tight the margins are, and how much you really have to manage your business in hospitality these days. So Blackrock is our best performing site, and if you look at it, our gross sales last week were 28,400. Right, you pull that back, our wages in terms of the team were nearly 9,000. That's 34%. When you add in the management overheads and the marketing side of stuff that we add into it, because we do have office team as well, the likes of Stephen, myself, Emily, that would go between all the sites. You add that into it, you're adding another 20%. So our total wages were nearly 14,000. And that's gone up huge. That's the biggest cost to any business in hospitality. But there has been minimum wage increase, which has had a huge knock-on effect. We always try to pay a little bit over that as well. And the cost of labour has increased, but you can't turn around and charge a cappuccino at €8 or €9 to continue the margin that we used to make. So it's getting really challenging, and it really has to be managed finally. So that's the scary aspect of how the business is going. And this is a business that's really thriving, and there's queues out the door. So 28,000 a week, After that, our purchase costs are another 22% last week, which is actually really, really good. However, if you look back in the week before, it was 38%, and that was including a bank holiday, so there's extra stock, and that probably is counteracted a little bit. So you're somewhere probably in the middle, and you're averaging about 30% a week. So that's another 6,000. Then you have all your operating costs, your rent, your fuel, your maintenance, your bank fees, your equipment, any printing on the menus, the stationery, all that kind of stuff, all adds up. And that was another 14% of that 28 going out as well, which gave us an operating profit last week of 1,700, which is so tight. That's 6% basically of what our turnover was. When you flip it and look at that on the week previously, we took in sales of 26,000, so we were slightly down on sales. Our wages were roughly about the same. They come in actually a little bit lower operationally. They were about 27%, which was really good. The guys obviously managed that really well. And then you add in the labour, the management labour as well, brought up to another 12,000. Add in your purchases. The week before was 8,500 nearly, which is 38%. Obviously a little bit higher with the bank holiday and stocking up a little bit more. And then once you talk off your operating expenses again of another 3,600, we actually lost 1,700. So we were minus 7% the week before. So we've just counteracted it really. And that's on a business that's really, really doing well here in Blackrock. So it just goes to show, gives you a quick insight as to how important it is to watch everything and how tough businesses are. People look at Rocksalt and look at me and they see the queues out the door every day, especially in Blackrock, and think, Jesus, Rocksalt's absolutely flying, it's making millions. The reality is it's not, and it's very hard work to maintain that and to keep it going. So that's a little bit of an insight into, I suppose, the back end of stuff, in terms of the strategy side of stuff and the financial aspect of it. Saying that, we've got a broad range of stuff that's going on within the business. So we've got the cafes in Blackrock, we've got the cafe in Dundalk, we've got Little Rocksalt, our bakery as well, and our grab and go section, which is going really, really well, and the margins are slightly better in that aspect of the business, because it's not as high labour intensive. Same with our dock in Felda as well. We also have a central production unit that we've gone into last year, where we make all the meals and we do all the kind of stock and stuff for the cafes, which has helped us slightly manage the quality of the food that's coming out to the cafes, but it also has helped us manage our labour as well, so that in the cafes it's not as much as labour intensive on the prep side of food, that we can deliver it out to the cafes and manage that quality and do a little bit more in bulk. And the other string to our bow is the catering element of things. We look after a lot of the professional teams, which is brilliant. We do the likes of Louth GA, we do St Patrick's Athletic, Dundalk, Drogheda, we do the Kildare GA setup, Monaghan, and a couple more teams, which is fantastic. And that all comes from the economies of scale from our central production kitchen that helps feed the cafes as well. So it's a good business setup, and there's plenty of synergies within the business when you get to that scale, and that's where the business can continue to grow. We also have a lot of fit meals, so we are going through the sales of our fit meals in the meeting there. Last week we did 1,200 meals into the retail shops, which is quite standard. It kind of fluctuates between 12 and 15 at the moment. We did 300 of the packets of the energy balls, and we did another 1,200 or so the oat pots as well. So that side of a business that I think we can scale, and we've already invested heavily in terms of the branding, the marketing, the packaging, and the premises that we can create. So that's an exciting time to the business, and that's something I'm going to focus on for the next couple of months as well, to try and add a couple more stores and a couple more shops. And we've got a big job in terms of getting our packaging right, and hopefully that will elevate the food and elevate the quality as well. And it's a more premium, freshly made meal product, so it should really keep keep growing, and it's growing really well for us. So there's so much going on in the business, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of a snapshot into how the cafes operate, a little bit more in terms of eye-opening in terms of the actual finance side of it and how to run it and how to manage it, and also some of the other stuff that the synergy in the business and what's going well for us. So that's the overview of the financial side of Rocksalt.